There's a story that I'll attribute to Milton Erickson in a family therapy session. It may have been him, I can't remember. But there's a teenage daughter and a mother who are constantly at loggerheads, arguing, shouting matches. They're stuck in this cycle of these endless arguments. And they tried talking it out, setting boundaries, staying silent, and nothing worked. The therapist gave a really strange suggestion. In front of them both, he gave the mother a small water pistol to carry in her bag. Next time things get a bit heated, he said, pick up the water pistol and squirt your daughter. The mother was desperate enough to try anything. The daughter thought this was a bit strange, so the next argument began to bubble up. So the mother went for her bag, she took out the water pistol, she pointed it at her daughter, and the pair of them just burst out laughing uncontrollably, and all of the tension kind of melted away. And from that point on, the old argument scripts had been broken. They could now fight and argue about things while they were laughing. Which reminds me of the phrase, if what you're doing isn't working, try anything else. Even something ridiculous, especially something ridiculous, because sometimes the fastest way to change is to just interrupt the pattern. My name is Mike Dawson. I'm the author of Cut Your Diet, Think to Shrink. And if you're done with meal plans, diet calorie counters, sins, then you're in the right place, because I'm here to help you create a 14-day roadmap to escaping diet culture forever. Membership on my website is free, and if you sign up soon, it always will be to you. You will have limitless access to all the tools, PDFs, audio in the members area. So if you're interested to know your own personal level of change and receive some tips on where to attack your weight problem, then try my 12-question quiz. There's a link around here somewhere. So in today's video, I want to talk about this idea of trying anything else, no matter how counterintuitive or silly, because we can never be sure whether it'll work. And that's why that saying, try anything else, is so powerful, because of the mental pattern interrupt. If you've tried it all, then you could try something outside the box. There's a great story about a man who was unhappy in his marriage that follows this same principle. He didn't want a divorce. He just wanted things to stop being so tense in the marriage. Erickson didn't ask him to talk it out or go to couples therapy. Instead, he asked a simple question. Which side of the bed do you sleep on? So the man was a bit puzzled, but he said, well, the right side. I've always slept on the right side. And Erickson said, well, tonight I want you to sleep on the left side of the bed. Don't explain, just do it. So he was a bit confused, but he did what Erickson suggested. And that night, him and his wife both noticed the difference. It felt weird. And she said to him, why are you on that side? And he just smiled and said, it felt like a change. So they laughed and it broke the tension. This familiar pattern was disrupted. A small physical change symbolized a new way of being. The couple really began to shift emotionally without ever having to analyze or debate. And it was just this idea of doing something odd. There's a great story in Rory Sutherland's book, Alchemy, the dark art and curious science of creating magic in brands, business and life. And he's a genius marketing guy. And one particular story captures this. It's about trains. And in the book, Sutherland talks about how governments and engineers were just obsessed with reducing train travel time between London and Paris, if my memory serves me correctly. The plan was to spend billions on high-speed rail to save passengers 30 to 40 minutes. But as Sutherland says in his book, why not just hire supermodels to walk up and down the train, handing out free champagne? It would be a lot cheaper, a lot more memorable, and people would actually wish the journey took longer. So sometimes we just assume the solution must be faster, more efficient, or more logical, but this isn't always the case. And as Sutherland says in his book, the problem with logic is it just kills off magic. So if what you're doing makes sense but doesn't work, don't double down on that. Try something emotional, something playful, symbolic, or slightly ridiculous. I will interject here and say that all of the diet world dogma, everything about the diet world, about discipline, losing weight, eating less, moving more, all makes perfect logical sense I would never deny that. Is it possible we could actually do something different, which is the entire argument of my book and my course? Here's a few ideas that I came up with. Okay, these are just ways of working with oddities, and so you can probably think of much better ones. Saying later instead of no to cravings. Now, when I gave up smoking and I had cravings, I would always promise myself a cigarette if I feel like one tomorrow, always. And when I felt like a cigarette, I'd say, right, okay, if I feel this way tomorrow, I'll have a cigarette. That's just true. And of course, we all know that tomorrow never comes. Another one might be to talk back to that kind of diet voice with kindness or humor. Speak back to it, give it a name, a personality, so that you can beat it on a daily basis. Change your environment when the urges hit you. Walk outside, dance, sing, go and tease a colleague who's deep at work in the office. Maybe do one small surprising act of self-care. Instead of eating, do your nails, brush your hair, phone a friend for a natter. Even laughing at your old patterns, they don't run the show now. So make fun of that old person you were. Interrupt routine with anything that feels weird. It does not matter what it is. So today's message is this. If what you're doing isn't working, try anything else. Thank you for being there, and I hope that there's some food for thought in this episode. My name is Michael Dawson, the author of Quit Your Diet, Think to Shrink. I'm here to help you develop a 14-day roadmap to quitting diets forever. If you sign up soon for free on my website, you will be a legacy member and never pay for that membership ever. You'll get exclusive invites to our coffee mornings, as well as all the tools and downloads from the members area. And a light tap on the like button or subscription will enable myself and people like me to pop up in your feed occasionally, and it helps us all to spread the word to others. Thanks for being there. I'm here every few days with episodes and tips to help you free yourself from the diet dogma forever. My name is Michael Dawson, the author of Quit Your Diet, Think to Shrink. Thanks for being there, and I'll see you soon.